something that everybody on this panel, except myself, can relate to: home ownership in Sacramento. So recently, we've seen a large wave of Bay Area residents moving to the Sacramento area, which is, you know, some people say it's affecting housing prices, it's affecting tourism, it's affecting just a commercial boom in the city. So let's talk a little bit about that, especially you guys, because well, everybody here is a transplant in some form. So everybody here kind of has a different perspective on things. But when it comes to the topic of being a Sacramento resident and seeing this new wave, how do we feel about that?
Gosh, okay, so yes. I pitched this story earlier because I saw all the comments. So this originates from SF Gate article saying, hey, there's people moving to Sacramento. So it's written from the perspective of a Bay Area audience. Hey, there's people moving to Sacramento. What's it really like over there? So it kind of was coming from this angle down, which is, you know, people living in Sacramento that have been here for a long time, Mark yourself, there is this sort of back and forth between Sacramento and the Bay Area, and a lot of Sacramento people were saying, hey, here we go, it's another elitist San Francisco snob article talking down to Cowtown, Sacramento, and we don't like it, and we're not happy about all these people moving here with this attitude. That's what I read in the comments. But, you know, Mark, you've been here a long time. Are you seeing an increase in Bay Area people moving here?
I've been here long enough to see the cycle happen a few times. When I moved here in the late 80s, that was my perspective. And then I moved to New York for a bit, and when I came back, it had started happening. Wave one. Real estate prices doubled, and so that took place. It happened again in the early 90s, happened again in the early 2000s, and I think we're going to see it happen again. I think if you, it just depends on where you are at the game. If you buy, your home is going to inflate in value, which is a good thing. But if you wait, then it's not a good thing because now you're buying an inflated home.
My husband and I bought our home last year, and it was very difficult because the house goes on the market, it's on the market for maybe a couple days, and somebody already snatches it up. You already see the pending sign when you go onto like Realtor or Zillow, and you're like, wow, that was really fast. And then we put an offer in on a home. We actually went above list because we're like, we're gonna get it, this is gonna happen. And then somebody with a lower offer, all cash, ended up getting the home because if you're coming from the Bay Area, you're selling your home at a very high price, you have all this extra cash flow, and you're ending up being able to put a cash payment on a home, and you're competing with that. So that's what kind of stinks in that sense. But the good news about living in Sacramento is that you're right in the middle. You are an hour and a half from the Sierra, you are an hour and a half from Bay Area. You're super close, and you don't have to deal with all the crazy traffic, and you don't have to deal with the wall of snow on the side of the road. You just have great Sacramento weather.
Now, speaking of prices, a report says that Sacramento, the median home value in Sacramento is short of $300,000, but San Francisco's median home value is $1,194,000. So, with that said, if it means commute a couple extra hours to work, then I'm going to save, what, $700K? What?
Yeah. And, you know, as families grow, you know, when you're young and you're making money and you're working in the tech industry, dude, live in San Francisco, have a good time. But at some point, you feel like you want to settle down, you don't want to deal with traffic, you want a little bit more space, and it's really expensive to do that in the Bay Area. I mean, it's basically built out. Now they're going up. You get everything you want to raise a family in Sacramento. I got to tell you, I've been here for 4 years. I love Sacramento. I didn't know that much about Sacramento before I came here. Like a lot of transplants, you it's just under the radar. But now we're seeing so many articles come out, so many people highlighting, just naturally speaking so well about the city and the area and all the benefits.
Restaurant boom,
exactly.
Businesses.
But if you've been here for a long time, and then let's just say that you're one of these people that you're ready to upgrade. You know, you want a bigger house, you want a little bit more space. Now you're competing with money seemingly coming from outer space. How can you compete with an all-cash offer over list for homes that have already, you know, they've been going up 12, 15% year to year. So it's crazy.
That's the tough side of the game. We only hope with that our economy continues to improve because some of that San Francisco inflated economy comes our way. So maybe jobs will start paying higher, and certainly our amenities get better. We start to see restaurateurs move over and nicer things start happening.
But is that changing the charm of Sacramento? Because a lot of people, you know, sometimes when you're from somewhere, you know what it is and you know what it feels like to live here and be from here. And I just think about like LA. In LA natives, they're kind of grumpy now because the transplants have turned it into this, you know, this totally different city. And when people say, I'm from LA, They're like, no, you're not. You've only been here 10 years. I'm from LA. So is this going to change Sacramento? Is this the new San Fran or the new Bay Area?
Got to balance the growth.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to ever be San Francisco because Sacramento, we have so much land. We can still expand outward, where San Francisco, you can only expand upward.
Right.
So I think over San Francisco, we have the space. We can you can basically have a yard. You can get this amazing home with 3 or 4 bedrooms and like 2 bathrooms versus just a studio.
And I can show you, the snotty San Franciscan with their fancy job at Twitter. I'll show you. Let me show. Here, I'm going to show you $1.5 million. This is $1.5 million in San Francisco.
Oh my goodness! And that's true.
I can't. No, that's true.
That's
San
true.
Francisco, New York. You're getting
lighting.
a closet.
Look,
for this.
it's indoor outdoor living. You get
Renovated.
all
But no, it was renovated
lifestyle.
because it has a sliding door.
Exactly. Sorry, I had to jump on Bart from the
No,
2
but
hours.
no, this is so Kate Mendenhall had made a comment. She said, we made our move 14 years ago to the Sierra foothills, and I can't imagine living anyplace else. We have beautiful animals, and we live in an amazing community and more. So, I don't know if people are feeling that same way in San Fran because it's more of a city. It's more of like the hustle and bustle.
Betsy also chimed in. She said, I moved in 2002. The price difference is a big factor. Most people will extend their commute to be in a home with better schools. You can still shop at the store on the way home instead of getting home and leaving again.
Yeah.
So the convenience factor of having a grocery store right down the street is so much easier versus like I have to lug all these groceries up a big tall hill and then go up a flight of stairs. Like that does not sound
Yeah,
good.
and Elle Lloyd brought up a good point. She said Bay Area residents moving here also raises rent prices and makes it difficult for those families with lower medium income to afford rents. And I can speak to that a little bit. I was in the gym at my apartment complex and working out, and just you're talking to your neighbors, just seeing what's what. And 3 of them were from the Bay Area that moved here, but they were getting a little grouchy too because they were saying I moved here for the cheaper rent, but after a year or 2 of me living here, now rent is jumping up $300 to $400. So they're like, wait, I moved here to get away.
Space,
they're getting more space, but they're
space.
like, hey, is this going to be the trend? Because if it's going to be the same price, then
Right, and I see a problem coming down the road, which is there might be a mismatch with, there's median home prices. There's also a median income, and in the Bay Area, you're just paid a lot more because the industries there are just making a ton of money. They pay more, so you spend more to live there. But if you have a bunch of people moving in with fresh money, they can sell their $1 million house, they could buy something, and then maybe they're making money, but maybe they're making up, as prices increase, you need to have that median income in your area come up as well. Otherwise, everybody who lives here and works here gets priced out while other people can live off savings from selling their home in the Bay Area. So there's a mismatch. So
producer Billy just chimed in and said basically he's expecting a raise. That's what he said. They need raises to be able to survive. All right, well, we'll see. I do want to throw out one more little nugget. Between 2014 and 2015, nearly 170,000 people moved to Sacramento. The majority of them were between the ages of 25 and 35. So, hey.
It's happening. Young kids.
Well, you have state jobs. People work for the Capitol. I mean, there's really great job growth out here.
But not like the Bay Area.
That's true.
I mean, that place has been on fire for a decade.
Yeah.
Anywho.
And I like Sacramento charm, but there's a certain amount of the charm that we need to let go and start to grow up just a little bit.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see.